Just this morning, a side of me open that I never noticed. We are the future, ride for the culture. Put my dirty clothes on the lines of a notebook. Never hide from exposure, show you nobody is unbroken.
Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah.
I'm unstoppable. Came too far to be barred by an obstacle. That's not an optional. What they call hard is like riding a bicycle. I'm phenomenal. Feeling like I could do what a mythological guy could do. Power is optimal. It's my time to make impossible and the possible.
Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. You will remember.
I just wanna lay here. Don't know what I'm waiting for. Don't know what I'm aiming for. I've just gotta feel it. Late night, yeah, my head be spinning around. Yeah, I was once lost, but baby, you got me feeling found. It's time to show me how it's done. This is the glow up. Come on, it's time to have some fun. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna break it down. We're giving big love. We're gonna show them how it's done. That's right. We're gonna show them. I've got to keep fighting. Strike hard, I'm like lightning. It's my life, I rewrite it. Yeah, I'm gonna show ya. Late night, yeah, my head be spinning around. Yeah, I was once lost, but baby, you got me feeling found. It's time to show me how it's done. This is the glow up. Come on, it's time to have some fun. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna break it down. We're giving big love. We're gonna show them how it's done. That's right. We're gonna show them. I know we're gonna make it. We just played a waiting game. I know that we were born for this. I know that we are stronger. We just gotta believe in something. You just gotta believe in us. I know that we were born for this. I've got to keep fighting. It's time to show them how it's done. Yeah, this is the glow up. Strike hard, I'm like lightning. It's time to have some fun. Yeah, it's my life. That's right. And I've got to keep fighting. We're giving big love. We're gonna show them how it's done. That's right. Come on, this is our time, and we're gonna show them.
So we've been in Charlotte all week long. It's incredible. The whole industry has really been super supportive for NASCAR 25, and we've had 8 or 9 drivers trying the game, and you know, to us, it's just another step in the process of making a great game, right? You want to get their feedback, you want to implement some of the things that they give you pointers on. So enjoy some of the clips of these guys playing the game and just kind of what we went through this week. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We just got done playing NASCAR 25. I would say it's probably the most realistic Xbox PS5 game that I've played. I grew up playing all the old games through my childhood, and it was pretty awesome to be able to kind of get on again, and I'm looking forward to when it comes out.
I mean, the physics, I used to play a lot of games, and NASCAR games, and the physics on this game is above and beyond all of them. So initial thoughts are really good.
I was blown away by how realistic the game was, and just going through the couple tracks that I ran, like seeing how true the repave was at Iowa, and the new asphalt lines up with what we have in real life. The grip levels were accurate, impressive.
It's really cool, like seeing myself in a video game. That means a lot for me, because like I never imagined like saw me in a video game, and made me feel like the first time when I jumped in a car, it was the same feeling.
The first time seeing myself was, I mean, you dream about those moments, right? I mean, growing up and playing video games, like I said, 2K or anybody, and playing as LeBron James or doing something, right? You want to take your my player to the top of the, and have the overall, the 99 overall, you know? So now I get to do that for myself. I'm gonna be on that game 24/7.
For the first time ever, there's a whole new level of authenticity to the NASCAR game with the actual track scans and the car physics, which is going to bring fans closer to the sport.
You can definitely tell that iRacing had a significant impact on this game, from the driving characteristics to the audio, the visuals. You can tell the footprint that iRacing had on this platform, and It's a great thing because it just shows how next level video games can be.
iRacing is huge, so just the opportunity for it to go to a game console is also just a great opportunity for people that love racing or just trying to do it for fun and maybe trying to get into it.
I think the first game that I probably played was NASCAR 05. Got that game, actually had it on PSP at the time, and then played it on console as well. So that's really how I got started, and my friends said that I took the game way too seriously.
As a kid growing up, I was a big time NASCAR video gamer and would love getting to explore all the different tracks and see what they're about, and going to Pocono and realizing it's a triangle, and how Loudon, New Hampshire is really flat, and just seeing all the variety of different racetracks.
This game from the driver's perspective is what it needs to be. I mean, myself in my own career, there's just that energy level when you walk into the racetrack and you hear the engines and practice starts. There's just that feel that you get when you get in your race suit, you hop in the truck.
I mean, I'll never forget it. My first ever time at Daytona, when I rolled into the garage and they put my car on 4 jack stands and they raise up the hood, and all you hear is the guns going on the tires, the guys working on the car, the spotter crew chief talking. Like, it took me away because it felt like I've been in that situation before, and it's actually was like I'm actually living this moment that I played in the game a million of times. So now to be in this game even more elevated, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's definitely huge.
I can't thank these drivers enough. This week has been super special for all of us to come down here and shoot this content and get their feedback. We've had a long relationship with a lot of these guys, and I'm so excited. Even ones we've just met this trip, the passion that they have and the excitement that they have to get this game out and in the market is super exciting. In case you haven't heard, October 14th, that's our launch date. So we're gonna open pre-orders and we're gonna get you that gameplay trailer that you guys are all begging for about a month before. So stay tuned, we got a lot more information coming on the game for NASCAR 25.
Visit NASCAR25.com for more information on the game, and make sure you follow us on social media at NASCAR25Game.
This is iRacing.
Four days, 8 races, over 280 entries, and we've saved the best for last. The narrative has shifted. No more points, no more patience. It's time to settle the score at the Big House. Crandon, Wisconsin native Nicholas Ashley was able to reclaim his crown in the morning session, and he dig deep and win 2 times in a row, or who will try to play spoiler for the Factory Sim Sport driver. It's a couple of sounds I really like, or a Pro 4 on a summer night, and it's Saturday night, and it's all right for a fight. Welcome everybody to the Crandon Championship session number 2 here in our Super Session. Just one of the many special events that we host over here at iRacing. It's been a heck of a week. All come down here to the ultimate race. We only have one more crown to hand out, and who is going to take it? One of our many special events here over at iRacing. Again, this is the only one representing dirt road, which is why all the stars come out to play. But we have many more coming up, especially in 2 weeks' time. The Indy 6 Hour from September 5th to 6th, Bathurst 1000, one of the most crown jewel events in the world, taking on the mountain and Mount Panorama. And of course, the SCCA runoffs. If you've ever wanted to be able to participate in a bunch of the best cars on iRacing back to back, the SCCA runoffs is the best way to do it. And then we close out our special events calendar with the Production Car Challenge at the Virginia International Raceway. It's been a heck of a week here as we are going to take a look at how we got here. It has been 8 races, as we said, and Josh Lee, you've been joining me for most of them. It's been a lot of thrills, a lot of spills, a lot of beef, and it's all going to kick off and culminate here tonight.
Saturday night is just special. Whether you're at the short track or whether you're on the sim, Saturday night just has a little bit of a different feel to it. And I think a lot of the drivers that we're going to see tonight are going to bring the aggression out to a crescendo tonight. It has been an aggressive week, Keenan, all week leading up to today's Super Sessions. And in the morning session that we had earlier today, the aggression was at an all-time high for the week. I think they still got a little bit more left in the tank.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They've been looking forward to this. There's been some talk back and forth in a lot of the community areas, knowing that this session is the big one. Again, this morning, Nicholas Dashley, the Crandon, Wisconsin native, was able to reclaim his crown from 2024. Can he do what's never been done and claim both Super Sessions and be the ultimate champion? Or will one of those drivers we run into try to spoil the party, Josh?
And take a look at where we've gone throughout the week. All the preliminary races were open to everybody, dirt road D 4.0 and above. Same thing with these Super Sessions here today. And as we've gone through the week so far, the drivers have competed with points. They have earned points by their finishing positions and the strength of field of whatever race they were in through the preliminary races. That seeded them for the Super Sessions today. If anybody raced today and tonight with no points scored throughout the week, they were just sorted by dirt road iRating at the end of our splits.
And that's exactly what happened, as we had a record-breaking amount of entries this week, all coming down into this final race as we take a look at the road that it took us to get us here and the road that it took us this morning, as this was our first of our 2 final races.
And this is where the aggression started. Take a look at that mid-pack. Everybody fighting for real estate. 1 truck went around, 2 trucks went around, and then they continued the fight for 6 laps in the heat. It was 5 trucks with a blanket over them for that lead, and Evan McFarland inserting himself into this lead battle, but it led to a bit of contact, and it led to some argy-bargy with Thad Countryman walking away with the sprint race win.
A lot of your winners from this week were out to play this morning. Culver, McFarland, Winkler, Merrick, King, and of course, Dashley with a super smart move at the end of this feature race. And Josh, we've seen some pretty extravagant and pretty spectacular crashes this week. Not that we want to talk about the wrecks, but this one has to take the cake. What a spectacle.
It was multiple trucks going for the smallest piece of racetrack, and you can see the 3 wide. You can see Michelson pushed into the wall, and that was Evan McFarland. That was Dane Culver, all flipping up and over. Once again, we are glad that we are in this sim and not in the real world. That could have been a really ugly wreck. But when we're in the sim, the drivers kept on racing, and it was another interesting battle for the race lead. But after that wreck, Keenan, they spread out a bit. It was really Thad Countryman and Nicholas Dashley sparring at the front for that entire feature race, and you can see Countryman tried, but he tried all that he could, and Nicholas Dashley walked away with a second, call him 2-time iRacing Crandon champion.
At the end of the day, the experience from Dashley, a former Pro Series driver, paid off. He gets the win at his home track, and what a home track to have. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big house. This is Crandon International Raceway in Crandon, Wisconsin. 8 of the fiercest turns in short course racing. This has some of the biggest thrills, the biggest spills, and of course, the ever famous 10 wide Land Rush start.
That land rush start has been the problem child all week long. That is where we have seen the most carnage all week long. But that arena section, very technical, very fast, going down the straightaway into Cowboy Corner. That's the tight hairpin you see now, bottom left of your screen. Then the long straightaway with the whoop setting into Potawatomi turn 1, which is the first turn off of the land rush start where everybody fights for the whole shots. This track really is 1.5 miles of off-road heaven.
And we're going to be able to see 18 trucks fire down into that first Potawatomi Bend. 18 of the best short course racers in sim racing, and these are their steeds. The off-road Pro 4 truck, 900 horsepower of All-American Fury and 6-speed sequential transmission, and no electronics to help you with those bumps and jumps.
What is going to help with those bumps and jumps, Keenan, is the suspension, coilovers, and shocks on all 4 corners of this truck. 18 inches of travel in the front, 20 inches in the rear. These things can take some pretty hard hits, both laterally and vertically, as they slam the dirt off of some of these very, very big jumps.
Yeah, and this truck is not going to be this nice by the end of this race. These panels are made to take a beating, and they will take it in spades. A machine built for war. That's not the only thing we've been able to cover this week, of course, but a lot of Crandon. But big news as the dev blog finally dropped on the iRacing.com website, as we get to see 3 brand new cars: the Indy NXT, the Aston Martin Vantage Evo GT3, and the Ford Mustang GT4, along with the GT4 refresh, and also brand new track of Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, as well as some other nice tidbits, Josh.
I'm looking forward to the third phase of the NASCAR refresh as well. We saw a little bit of a tech teaser of Sonoma Raceway. Saw the brand new scan of North Wilkesboro Speedway, a track that was really brought back into the real world because of the work that iRacing could do with the 1987 era scan. But now it's back in its modern form in the iRacing service, and brand new in-sim UI. I love the clean look of this. iRacing has had really the same UI design in sim since its inception. Finally gets the facelift that personally I think was a little bit overdue.
So us grandpas are very, very used to the UI that's currently in the sim, so it's nice to get a nice coat of paint. The UI team had a chance to talk a little bit with them this week while being here at the iRacing office, and nice to be able to see all their work paying off. And especially also nice to see a new entry into the iRacing family, as iRacing Studios is pleased to unveil iRacing Arcade. It'll be coming to Steam this fall on consoles in early 2026. All tracks and cars that you know and love, just with a different coat of paint and a different way to experience some of the best things in motorsport.
Getting to see the iRacing cars, iRacing tracks, iRacing feel in a brand new way. I'm really looking forward to taking some of these cars and racing them around. There's a nice teaser of Barber Motorsports Park with the prototypes in iRacing Arcade. You also get teasers of Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That right there is Imola that we'll get to race in iRacing Arcade, and I love the cartoony feel. This is just going to be a fun game. I'm ready to pick it up and play it with my friends on a Friday night.
Spent a lot of time with the other entries from original Fire games, especially Karting Superstars. If this is anything like that, you guys are in for a treat. For more information on how you can start your iRacing career, again, one of the most unique things that we're able to show in the sim is short course racing. If that looks like an interest to you, or you want to get jumped on the asphalt, you can head over to iRacing.com today to start your sim racing career.
And throughout this week, Keenan, I think this has been the best possible advertisement for iRacing off-road that we've had. I mean, throughout the preliminary races, it has been entertaining. Today's super session that we already had earlier today at 11 a.m. Eastern was exciting. It was entertaining. Tonight, you're going to get another good show alongside the NASCAR Cup Series currently racing at Daytona. We've mentioned it all week. This is the Daytona of iRacing off-road and of the off-road community in the real world as well. Everybody wants to win Crandon. There's only one more win up for grabs, is tonight's Super Session win.
And just to add a little bit of more narrative there, Nicholas Dashley is not in the field. So he took his morning win and said, you know what, I'll sit back in the recliner. I'll have a nice cold drink and a bowl of popcorn.
He's already got the 2.
Yeah, he's got his 2, and he's just going to sit back and watch the fireworks as everybody here is now gunning for a win. Will it be Dane Culver? Will we have a totally repeat winners from 2024, or will we have a new driver take the top step of the podium and be one of your many Crandon champions? as we jump on board here. That is Thad Countryman. You want to talk about storylines from this morning. Thad has been towards the front of the field, Josh, in almost every race he's survived. He's the #1 in iRating in this session. Not the #1 seed, but just the highest iRating driver. And it's proven dividends for him. He's improved so much in the last year, and now he just has to make it work, especially now that Dashley has opted to sit this one out from the sidelines.
It was really Countryman and Dashley for both the heat race and the feature race earlier today. Taking a look at our iRacing race analysis, we're currently inside of qualifying, 7 minutes on the clock, 3 laps eligible for these drivers. That really is making one flying lap, resetting back to the pits, getting some fresh tires, getting fuel back in the truck, and then running for another flyer for lap number 3. 6 laps in the heat, 10 laps in the feature. That doesn't seem like a lot, Keenan, but as we sit on board with Thad Countryman, these laps can feel like they are dragging on and on and on with an average lap time at race pace of about 1 minute 16.
Yep, and then we have expecting qualified times in the low 15s to high 14s. Fastest lap this week has been Crystal King and Nicholas Dashley with a 14.8. Can anybody usurp that in their final opportunity? We'll find out as Thad Countryman takes this really unique line here to get his line started. He waits for the 4th Crandon flag, brings that truck to a crawl. He's going to cut in tight, get a huge run to start his first qualifying attempt.
He's 26 on all of our scoring, but he is truck #1 in the sim because he has the highest iRating out of anybody in this field at 10,866, and he was not happy with how he got that flyer started. He's going to reset as we now go on board with Scott Merrick.
Yeah, he's put a lot of pressure on himself now by not at least taking that as a banker lap, Josh. You see where he made the mistake. Just went a little bit wide in that second corner. Unfortunately, he is going to have to bail out, but he's only got 4 minutes to be able to make something happen here now as Scott Merrick, the no stranger to short course racing, no stranger to dirt racing, as he goes for that wide swing, opts to stay in it, gets that start, and then takes his first lap as the monkey man from this morning is able to try to make something happen here. Much cleaner run that we saw from that Countryman, staying in kind of that worn out groove of dirt, using the cushion, not so much as you'd see in dirt oval, Josh, but still using that worn path. That's where the grip is right now with the track being in such a new state.
He had 2 really good finishes in this morning's super session, both in the heat and in the feature race. He ended up on the podium, 3rd place in the feature behind Countryman and Dashley at the end of that one. And now seeing him back here in qualifying. On the topic of Thad Countryman, Keenan, as we see the first times come in, if he doesn't get a good lap in, he bailed out of lap #1. If he doesn't get a good one in, he'll be starting towards the mid-pack in the back of our land rush start. We've been talking all week about the land rush start and how difficult it is if you're stuck in the middle of that pack to get yourself out, but it also opens up a bit of an invite for drivers to make up a lot of places. Being 10 wide on the opening row, it'll be 10 trucks behind them as well in row 2. I mean, that's inviting a lot of trucks to try and make up as many positions as they possibly can with everybody on top of one another. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that land rush start. You can either get stuck or you can make up a lot of spots very quick.
Yeah, everybody gangsta until you're 10 wide in a turn 1, and then you have to kind of come up with a different plan. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but that's why this qualifying is so important as we ride along board now with Racecraft Academy's Cody Vanderveer. He's a driver who's very, very fast, Josh, who just hasn't had the luck. He's had some speed, he's had some pace. He's just, anytime there's some sort of incident, it seems that the 59 machine gets the worst of it.
Oh, look at those trophies in his background as well as he takes a nice sip of water before going into Potawatomi turn 1. That is confidence there as he sits P10 and qualifying at a 1:15.99, 1:15.4, fastest from Evan McFarlane right now. Kind of towards the middle of the range of what we've seen in qualifying times this week, Keenan. We've seen 1:14.8s in the middle to high 1:14s at points for the pole this week. Doesn't look like we're going to get there yet unless Evan McFarlane or somebody else can shave a multiple tenths off of their lap times.
McFarlane might be the dark horse. Remember this morning, he had a hardware failure in the heat. We didn't see anything of him, and then he was part of that massive crash. He was basically a non-factor this morning. People may have slept on McFarlane. He spent a lot of time in rallycross racing, and he's been able to make the jump over to short course. Somebody who needs no introduction from this week. We've had a lot of opportunities to talk to him. Seems like he's always got a smile on his face until he puts that Timex headset on. That's Sean Winkler.
Sprint race winner from last night's preliminary race, and then he doubled up, won the sprint and the feature on Wednesday night in that preliminary race. I mean, Winkler has just been steadily improving. With the backing of Racecraft Group as well, Winkler has just been getting better and better every time we've seen him, and he's had some run-ins with who we're looking at right now. That is Dane Culver, last year's Super Session winner of this time slot. He's made a good amount of enemies, Keenan. I think he knows that, but he also has the talent to back it up. He has been fast all week long, looking to put lap number 1 in qualifying, and this might be the only one he gets.
The DC Dig warehouse machine, Dane Culver, wearing that traditional red number 1 on the number plate because he is your champion from the evening splits. With a Dash Late being a non-factor, this is your storyline. Can Dane Culver make it 2 back-to-back winners, or will we have a new winner, Nathan Minster, as well on the track? But Dane Culver taking the pole by just 0.038 over Emmett McFarland. Dane Culver to the point with a 15.382.
Mentioned he made the enemies, but he's been backing it up all week long, and he just did it again at a 1:15.3. We were just on board of Minster, but Sean Winkler to the top of the board, 1:15.367. Can you say quick time?
The old men can't be denied, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need a master's class because he's going to show the boys how it's done. Sean Winkler in the 11th hour will, I believe, take your pole position, your whole shot going into the heat, which is where he's been struggling the most, just not being able to get clean starts. He's got pace. He just needs to get there, but he's got the kids behind him with Dane Culver, Eric McFarland, Thad Countryman rounding in the 4th place, and Matthew Linda, the teammate to McFarland, rounding out your top 5. Maybe he can finish this one without taking a trip to the penalty box.
And this is everybody else now on the outside of row 1. Scott Merrick, Nathan Minster, Cody Vanderveer, Brody Descher, and Tyler Shattuck through the top 10. Austin Schieber, Dennis Michelson, Hadley Boyce, Zach Blanche, Danny Salo, Jack Peterson. We have not seen much of him this week. He'll start P16. Ray Bodewin's going to start P17. And Mark Grechko looking to start P18. He did not lay down a time in qualifying. We'll see if he ends up on the grid for the Land Rush start.
Wouldn't be the first time we've seen someone opt to not qualify. Just say, hey, you know what? I'll start on the outside of that back row, and they'll give me the best shot to pick up the pieces if and when we have our first disagreement of the night in our first heat race as we get our trucks on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're unfamiliar with the Land Rush start, welcome to the best spectacle in short course racing. We're going to see 18 of the best. There's a line in oval racing. If you want the best, you got a 3 abreast. How about 10?
These starts have been so exciting all week long. It's only going to get more exciting now as we are in the Saturday evening Land Rush start, Keaton, and here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the second to last time for our final evening, get ready. 18 trucks, only one can take the lead. We're ready to send it as we go down into our first lap here for our heat race.
That was a great start from Evan McFarland in the middle. Watch the light blue truck as he gets a hip check from Sean Winkler heading into Potawatomi turn 1. Does anybody get through? Countryman's into the wall. He rides the Jersey barrier through the corner. He's still cattywampus as around goes Michelson off the nail of Hadley Boyce. But side by side for the lead, we're 3 wide for the back.
Culver dropping back as Sean Winkler to the point, and what we've seen so much is top 3 got to go, hey, let's just get settled, let's pull away from the madness, and right now, Sean Winkler looking at his rearview mirror, seeing almost every other truck behind him, 2 wide at least with another one.
Winkler trying to look at his rearview mirror and say goodbye. He holds the lead through Calamity Corner. It's McFarland, Schieber, Dane Culver within the top 5. Matthew Lindy is there as well as they're still trying to figure out what they're trying to do in the mid-pack.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about new names here up here towards the front. Schieber, we barely talked about them all year, as there's some other names that we haven't talked about too much, making some big news, as I believe that was Nathan Minster taking the Joker lap in Argonne Corner. Wrong form of racing, buddy.
Minster got forced into the grass there. He probably got to slow down. Here's the slider from Culver. He gets up to P2, but that's Austin Schieber to the inside with the momentum. Going to cover that spot off on Dane Culver. Culver still gets 1, though. Evan McFarland back to P4. There's the purple number 1 truck to P3.
Remember Wednesday night, a slider like that was the first firework that kicked off so many incidents. It was the cork in the bottle. As you can already see it, we're beating and banging for 2nd place. We're beating and banging for 7th place. We're battles all over the racetrack as Winkler starts to run away.
There's McFarland back to cover off that spot on Dane Culver. Schieber still trying to get there in the battle for second place. They are 3 wide over the flyway jump. That's going to work out better than it did earlier today as the race for 7th continues. Minster in the lead of this one. Merrick to the inside. That's Jack Peterson forcing his way to the bottom of the racetrack.
Jack Peterson, welcome to the dance, clearly has been doing some work in the lower splits and able to show it off here in the top split of the evening as your first 4 or 5 truck shots looking like they're starting to settle down just a little bit. I don't know how long this is going to last as McFarland had so much pace all week. He's got a race win, just keeps running into bad luck, and he's proven he's got it now. P2 pulling away as Schieber tries to keep Dane Culver behind him, and of course, big send from Culver.
The signature Dane Culver slider in Cowboy. It worked out great for him that time. He gave a hip check to Evan McFarland, pushed him up into P2. While all this is going on, Keenan, Sean Winkler pulling away. I'd be scared if I'm Dane Culver and everybody else back from there. Once Winkler gets out in a good lead, it's tough to catch him.
If you didn't catch our start, if you didn't see our 10 wide start, here it is again. He just survived it as I believe Thad Countryman catching the worst of it. He's going to have some damage on the left side of that machine as it wasn't over from there. Michelson getting turned over going into Ponzi turn 2. Just so unfortunate. He's had so much pace this week, Josh, as we are side by side again. Remember the pull from this morning? It happened again! That time McFarland squeezing Culver into the post saying, you know what? That slider, didn't like that very much. How about your taste of concrete?
Talked about making enemies earlier in the week from Dane Culver. I'm not sure what the strategy was behind that move from Evan McFarland, but it all ended up much better than the incident we saw earlier today. That pushes Culver down into P17. He had to tow it back to the pits. That's going to be Culver out of this race, and a battle for the lead and battle for second completely changed.
If anyone can make it through the field, it's Culver as he joins Jack Peterson with a great start. Unfortunately, he's not be able to finish this race as now Brody Descher has entered the party. He's side by side with McFarland for second place as Schieber again has just been kind of nowhere. We've barely talked about Schieber. He's pulling away in second, but the battle for third is on as Descher takes the third place as we jump back to see what happened to Dane Culver.
Evan McFarland went up the inside. There was one tap to the side of Dane Culver and then just left him no room. I'm not going to say no room. He left him a little bit of room. It was just enough room to fit a truck there, but Culver still slammed the outside of that pillar with the right side of his truck. That sent him with enough damage to have him towed back to the pit lane, and he is going to finish the race there. Jack Peterson also had an issue. He's towed back. We saw the issues with Michelson off the start. He is towed to the pit lane as well.
McFarland clearly learned something from this morning when he was the victim of that incident and just held his line and made Dane Culver make a choice. And, you know, we all, after all week, how aggressive this racing's been, not surprised that none of them lifted as Descher still the cork in this bottle now as Merrick has shown incredible speed throughout the week. He's only been getting faster and faster. It's proving dividends here as he's at the back of Matthew Linda. Surprised he's still in this race. He's gotten DQ'd twice so far this week.
Got to keep those incident points reeled in to the best of his ability to stay on the racetrack. But Descher now is going to get a run on Evan McFarland. McFarland in the light blue truck, the dark blue truck on the inside. That's Brody Descher in this side-by-side battle for third. They're still side-by-side over the flyway jump. And you can see, Keenan, we've talked all week about it, the scrub, trying to get the truck pitched to the left, coming off of the jump to be able to pitch yourself better for that corner in turn 2. McFarland and Descher did it well side by side as Descher slides one in, gets the spot on McFarland again for third.
Yeah, the KS Industries machine going to have to take second fiddle to Brody Descher in the Dusty Speed Shop truck. He's going to take a look to the inside now. Looks like Descher's going to let him have it. Just go, all right, I don't want to put up too much of a fight. Really hard to defend your position there to the outside. That Countryman trying to make something happen. He's in the battle for 8th place with Boyce and Minster behind him.
That race for 8th is very interesting because Hadley Boyce, we've seen a little bit of him this week, not as much as some of our other stars of iRacing off-road, but he's been very, very fast every time he's been on track. course, the same with Thad Countryman as well, running in P8. But Countryman had those issues on the start. We saw it through Potawatomi Turn 1. He rode the K-rail coming around, and he got that truck back grounded and has continued on to try and get further up into the top 10. Sits P8 right now with Zach Blanche, the Australian who we're on board with right now, who sits in P7 on the tail end of Merrick in front. Lindy, McFarland, Descher, Schieber, and Winkler might be pulling away, but we've got a battle for third with one truck getting up onto another one. That was Scott Merrick.
Great save from Merrick. I was about to say that Blanche has the best seat in the house, but he just got his invite to the party. It's a five-way dance now, trying to fight for second or third place. Again, this sets the grid for your feature. P3 still a great place to be. We've seen traditionally all week long the first three trucks having great starts as Linda to the inside of his teammate. How hard do you fight it when you're probably both going to be in the shop together after the race? McFarland says no thanks.
McFarland hit the wall on the inside as well as we go onto the white flag lap one more time around Crandon for Sean Winkler, your current leader. As this battle continues through the mid-pack, I think Cowboy Corner Keenan is going to be very, very exciting. That's Merrick and Lindy side by side, but McFarland, Descher, they're still up in front.
Big dive down from Merrick. He wants to make an impression. He's going to make an impression on Evan McFarland's door. He gets shipped right to the back of this battle. And where did he come from? Thad Countryman up to P5.
That is a 10,000 iRating driver if I've ever seen one. What a drive through the heat. If he can hold on to his top five, he's got an angry Evan McFarland, arguably an angry Matthew Lindy behind him as well. But rounding the last couple of corners, the checkered flag flies as exiting gravel pit. Sean Winkler looking for heat race win number 3 on the week.
Step 1 complete for Sean Winkler. He has one more race to go. I'm sure he'll be excited to be able to get a heat race win, but he wants the one that matters, the real estate Racecraft Academy machine taking the top step of the podium here in your heat positions. As we're not done battling, we have trucks all sideways in the wall. That's Inks's Hadley Boyce getting a hit from Zach Blanche. It's not going to work for him though, as if we still have a couple of disagreements there, Josh, coming to the line. These drivers are not done fighting, not by a long shot.
And everything settles out when they come across the line. We get to look at the results. Winkler with the victory. He'll start on the pole for our feature race. Austin Schieber, Brody Descher, Scott Merrick, Thad Countryman from issues on the start to P5. That is a Hall of Fame drive for the 26.
What did Cristiano say earlier this week? Never stop wheeling, never stop driving it. Well, thanks, Thad Countryman, for proving his point. We're never going to hear the end of it now, unfortunately. But P5 here in Crandon in our heat race. He salvages one of the worst possible starts. He's got damage all over and was able to make it up. And Scott Merrick as well. Great run for him. As we take a look at the bottom of our field, Cody Vanderveer, unfortunately, just falling outside of that top 10. And then Ray Bowden, Mark Grechko, Daniel Solo, and company, and the rest of those trucks being in the graveyard in the pit lane, trying to make it happen here at the end. As Evan McFarland, being at the center of that whole mess, he took a page out of his teammates' book, and he got disqualified before the line.
But we saw a lot of those incident points when we were following along with him throughout that heat. And that was only 6 laps. We've got 10 laps coming up, and it might be 4 laps longer, Keenan, but it's still going to be the same chaotic land rush start to get things started. We saw how Potawatomi Turn 1 can change the course of a driver's race. We're going to see that again with one feature race left on the week.
Yeah, and if you have watched this and went, this is the most exciting thing I've ever seen in sim racing, and you want to start your short course career today, or any career in any discipline in the iRacing service, you can head on iRacing.com and start your sim racing career today. As Josh, at the back of the field now, we have Culver and McFarland. They've already had a big disagreement today. That battle's going to be renewed, and they're going to be starting side by side.
I don't think they are done remembering and done giving the payback. I think we're going to see more of that when we go into the feature. But there was that issue for Thad Countryman, got up on the K-rail. Didn't seem like that truck was much worse off. Michelson got turned off the nose of Hadley Boyce going through the jump for the first time. This was gravel pit first time by, and you can see everybody fighting for real estate, trying to find a place to put their trucks. And as the race progressed, we still saw the aggression through the mid-pack as Scott Merrick in the 12, like you said, Keenan, taking a joker lap there, getting forced into the grass.
Yeah, you know, the time for lifting was 2 or 3 days ago. This is the final. It's the super session. It's the last event of this special event. The time to make a statement, make an impression. Maybe you can't go for the win, but you could still get on the camera. And trust me, that's really important to a lot of these drivers to be able to put on a show for everybody watching at home.
And put on a show is what we have seen all week long, especially in that last sprint race. And you can see the excitement boiling over there with the one truck mounting Matthew Lindy there towards the end of that race. But it was Sean Winkler walking away with another heat race victory. He has been so strong all week long, and he continues now on the pole for our final Land Rush start of the week.
Looking at this top 10, look at the number 37 machine of Tyler Shattuck, a driver that's always been towards the front, just getting unlucky on these starts. Anybody with Team Gold on the door of their truck is going to be making looks to look forward. Keep an eye on that 37 as we jump for our Land Rush start.
And taking a look the rest of the way down at your other drivers that are going to be starting on this Land Rush start. This is row 2. Cody Vanderveer, Ray Bodewin, Mark Grechko, Danny Salo, Evan McFarland after the disqualification, Michelson, Culver, and Peterson. If anybody's going to work their way up through the field, watch McFarland, watch Culver. It's the light blue truck there on row 2 and the purple truck there on row 2. Watch for them to be at the front of the field somewhere through Potawatomi turn 1. Yes, they're going to funnel 10 wide deep into turn number 1, but this is the most exciting part of the race, and we're about to see it for one final time this week, Keenan.
Thousands of laps and a whole week of racing have all come down to this. 10 laps to settle it. Who will be joining Dashley in the Champions Circle? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last Land Rush start of the weekend, the last Land Rush start of the week. We have 900 horsepower of fury. All trucks are aligned, ready to go. We're ready to send it here at Crandon for the final time this week. The lights are on and off, and we are green for our final race here this week at Crandon.
Funneling to Potawatomi turn 1. Good start from Winkler. There's the mid-pack gaining up. Evan McFarland gets the worst end of that. They're still trying to figure things out. We're almost 5 wide through Potawatomi turn 1 in the mid-pack, but out front, Winkler tries to piece out with Austin Schieber behind. Dane Culver lands on another truck, gets cattywampus. McFarland up the middle, still trying to make something happen.
He's going to try to be able to make his way through the field, but he's going to have to get through everybody to the front. Cody Vanderveer, great start. He's up there in second position. He's trying to go for the lead, but so is everybody else. We're 3 wide all the way back as Sean Winkler, different verse, same as the first, alone in the lead as we get to our green flag start.
Winkler on Wednesday night swept the races in the preliminary. Can he do it again in the super session tonight? He's got Cody Vanderveer that just cleared for P2. There's contact midair. That was Dennis Michelson trying to get to the inside of Nathan Minster. They stay side by side and sometimes 3 wide throughout the rest of the pack as they race their way down the straightaway towards Cowboy.
So far, so good as all of our trucks have survived that start, Josh. Maybe one, I think that's Bodewin at the back, a little wampus, as in your words, as we come down to one of the most exciting corners in short course racing, Cowboy Hairpin. Are we going to see the dive? We see the dive from pretty well everybody. Speak of the devil, we're about to be 5 wide with Dane Culver and that big sand. Look, everybody's all over the place. You have one in the grass.
I didn't catch where Dane Culver was before Cowboy Corner, Keenan, but I saw him get as far up as P4 before he settled back to P5. Now behind Merrick and behind Desher, but over the jump, Mulvers into the podium places. He's up to P3.
He's not afraid to get aggressive. We've seen sends from him from a different area code, and that's what you just saw. Dane Culver doing what he needs to do if he wants to go back-to-back, just like his frenemy, Nicholas Dashley, who won this morning. But these battles towards the back of the field are not over. Keep in mind, those extra laps open up a lot more opportunities as Evan McFarland going very wide as a lot of drivers had a bad start now. Culver, Merrick, Desher, and Countryman all now battling to try to be able to fight towards the top of this field as Sean Winkler sets sail once again.
Look at this hornet's nest back here. This is Evan McFarland. You can see that blue truck in P8. Behind him, that's Austin Schieber, Dennis Michelson, Tyler Shattuck's in front of McFarland, and that's a side-by-side battle for 5th between Desher and Countryman. Everybody's so close together. Now watch what they're going to do into Cowboy. Who's going to send those sliders in? Who's going to be aggressive? You're on board with Hadley Boyce in the middle of everything.
Got to give a lot of respect to that 18 machine of Jack Peterson. Said, you haven't seen me all week. You're going to see a lot of me now. Going for sliders every single time he's got an opportunity. But now, as Hadley Boyce with no fear, going to the middle 3 wide in a Potawatomi.
He made it work, and he continues going forward as the mid-pack battles start to work their way through, and now Hadley Boyce cattywampus over the jump, and he ends up sending himself off to the right, falling to P17. Minster off the pace, he sits P18. Those are the only 2 drivers to really have issues today to send them way down the order.
Mid-air collision, unfortunately for Boyce. He was so excited for these last 2 races. It looks like that's going to be a really difficult hill for him to climb, as Countryman and Desher now nose to tail. They have options. Do we get hooked up and try to catch Culver and Merrick, or do we start fighting and hopefully pick up the pieces of when this battle for the lead heats up? And when it does, and we have battles, Josh, all over the racetrack. Look at the snake of trucks here towards the mid-pack.
The mid-pack has been the excitement area all week long. No difference in our final feature race of the week. But Thad Countryman, who we're on board with now, sits in P5, pretty much where he was at the end of that heat race. And you can see the sliders being sent by Desher, by Cheever, by Michelson behind. But Countryman's trying to catch up to Merrick, about a second up the road. Culver's up there. Vanderveer's up there. Nobody been able to reel in Sean Winkler enough just yet to have anything for your current race leader.
I think if Sean wants anything, it's for us not to talk about him again until lap 10 of 10. That's just what you have to do to win these races, get good, clean laps and stay out of everybody else's business as we ride with the 720 now. He does have some pressure for Vanderveer, but if you look at the timing board, Josh, Culver's coming, and when he gets there, we already know he's not going to play nice.
Winkler in the lead is doing a lot of looking in his rear view mirror. He's one of our virtual reality drivers, uses the VR headset, taking a lot of glances up to that virtual mirror as McFarland sends one in on the 18 of Jack Peterson. He got to his back bumper, moved him out of the way in Calamity Corner, now still trying to insert himself in this battle. Here comes Zach Blanche, the Australian. What can he do from P13? Looks to the inside.
Zach Blanche saying, you know what, boys? You have your fight. I'll take both of those. Thank you very much. He clears McFarland and Peterson. He moves up to 11th. Now we're knocking on the door of a top 10 as even McFarland. Look at all the time he lost from that.
More sliders in the Cowboy. McFarland sends another one in on Jack Peterson. That was square to the door with the front of that number 5 truck to try and move Countryman out of the, or Peterson out of the way, excuse me, from the front of Evan McFarland's truck. But side by side with Lindy and Shattuck in front, they're still trying to chase them down. McFarland's only worried about Peterson right now.
McFarland to the inside of Ponce turn 2, the best way to set up a pass going into the gravel pit. You're going to see that KS Industries truck send it in down to gravel pit and try to get the over-under. He does, but he goes really deep. Shout out to Peterson, reads him like a book, tries to go for the inside. Not going to be good enough. McFarland gets the place.
This mid-pack is proving to be the best spot to watch throughout this race. That's Shattuck to the inside of Blanche, moves him out of the way in Calamity Corner, does it beautifully. We're starting to see some spacing out towards the front of this pack. But I think that's just a kind of a product, Keenan, of what we saw in the opening lap. It was a lot of beating and banging, a couple incidents, nothing too crazy as Shattuck gets moved out of the way by, honestly, it just looks like Zach Blanche almost missed the corner, sent Shattuck out as a result.
Yeah, again, these drivers, this is the last time they're going to get to race with each other until next year here in the Crandon Championship. They might as well let everybody know what you've been working with all season long, all week long, as this battle is not over. Blanche to the inside trying to defend. McFarland's got to run to the outside, but does not have the preferred line. We might see a crossover into Ponce. That all depends on what McFarland chooses to do here, as there goes Dane Culver. It was only a matter of time. He's to the back of Cody Vanderveer.
It's not a battle for the lead yet, but it is a battle for second place in a battle that is starting to catch Evan McFarland ever so slightly. Last time by, it went the way of Sean Winkler. He ran his fastest lap of the race. Now Culver looks to the inside of Vanderveer, gives a friendly tap on the outside of Calamity Corner. Vanderveer keeps the spot. Scott Merrick watching in the wings, trying to catch up. You're on board with Vanderveer and Culver.
Culver's got the pace, but Vanderveer's got a ton of experience. He knows how to go defensive. Culver to the inside. He's not going to have the room to go for that big slider from downtown that's gotten him so many places. What will Vanderveer do to respond with Culver taking a look inside?
There goes Culver and Cowboy. He hits the gas to try and move Vanderveer out of the way. It worked, but Scott Merrick to the inside. Now he's going to take advantage. He was in P2, now falls back to P3 with Dane Culver to second place.
So what do you do now if you're Scott Merrick? Do you stay on the back of Culver and hope that you can catch up to Winkler, or do you fight? I remember Merrick early this week going, well, I don't know if I'm going to run and whatever. And look at the position he's in, Josh. He's able, not just on the podium, for a silver medal now, at least.
I'm going to watch these lap times as they come across the line here, because that is going to be crucial to see if they have any chance of catching Sean Winkler. It'll be 4 laps to go, this time by the stripe. Merrick behind Culver, Culver behind Winkler. Sean Winkler that time by just on a 1:15.989, his best lap of the race. Dane Culver, a 1:16.9. Merrick, a 1:16.7. They are not running quick enough, battling together to make anything happen, and Dane Culver just had an issue. Shattuck is disqualified.
Desher to the inside of Michelson. Big hip check to the 41 truck as he tries to move up. He's got the idea of, I'm going to fight for a top 5 here now. All I have to do is get away from this Hornets that's behind me. Look at the yellow trucks behind them. They're door to door. That's Lindy and Schreiber. They're trying to make something happen. Michelson now trying to defend as they are still battling so fiercely. 4 laps remaining here in the Crandon Championship.
There was your battle for second place that you just saw. Now we look back towards Desher, towards Michelson, towards Schieber, towards Lindy, as you can put a blanket over these 4 trucks. Michelson misjudges it, gets too far to the inside, bicycles the truck, 3 wide, getting the best end of that. Matthew Lindy clears the 3 wide, going to the gravel pit, all the way to the grass goes Desher.
Desher looking for a experimental life, and it works. He gets everybody, but that gets crossed over by at least 2 trucks. The racing here towards 6th place is edge of your seat stuff, as the battle for second on the top of your screen has not gone away. And Merrick being able to stay on the tailgate of Culver. He knows Culver's going to race him aggressive. He gets around him now. Watch that battle heat up as our race starts to conclude here.
That would have been one of the most insane passes I have ever seen in iRacing off-road, Keenan. If that would have stuck for Brody Desher, just didn't have enough momentum off the exit of gravel pit to keep things moving. He's trying to move Austin Schieber out of the way. Schieber says no thank you, pushes Desher back to the grass.
And look who's onto the party. That's Evan McFarland now. This battle just keeps getting bigger the more these 2 trucks choose to fight. They're going to invite more names to the party, more names that have had a bad start, as that's Michelson getting turned around again. 2 races in a row. That will be the 41 machine well and truly out of it.
He is not happy about that one, but I think it ultimately was just a racing incident. They went over the whoops. Michelson was a little bit loose coming over those jumps, and it was the smallest tap from the truck to his side. And it ended up making contact with Brody Desher. That sends Desher down the order, and unfortunately also sends Michelson packing to P15. Here's your battle up front for P2. Sean Winkler to the tune of 3 seconds right now, pulling away in the lead. It really is a battle for second spot on the podium right now between Culver and Merrick with 2 to go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Dane Culver has been one of the most aggressive drivers this week. He's not afraid to do whatever he has to do to get it done. The minute Merrick and Culver start fighting, look who's behind them. 2 drivers who have been on the receiving end a lot of that aggression. Merrick to the inside. He tries to show Dane Culver what he's got to work with. Dane reads him like a book, goes with a crossover. Look at the smile on Merrick's face.
Look at how much fun they're having, sending the sliders in on each other through Cowboy Corner. I think Scott Merrick is not going to want to settle for P3 too easily, but they've also got mirrors full of Vanderveer and Countryman. Desher, Peterson, they've reached the incident limit. They're both disqualified.
Going to have to take a trip there to the penalty box, and they're not coming out till this race is done and dusted. But look at the experienced hands here. Vanderveer, Countryman to the back of this battle. The more they start fighting, and keep in mind what happened at Cowboy Corner. Vanderveer shook his head. He's not happy. If he gets to the tail of this field, be ready for some blows to be thrown out as we jump on for our white flag lap.
Sean Winkler way out in front in the lead. This is going to be a walk-off for the ages for the number 720 machine, but the eyes are on the battle for second, the battle for fourth. We're there now. Culver has the second place spot. Scott Merrick has third place. Vanderveer and Countryman back from there. Down the straightaway towards Cowboy Corner. Where's the slider going to come in?
Watch that white truck. He's going to opt to wait. I wonder if we're going to see a move that we saw from Drapian and King going into Calamity Corner. It might not work out for these trucks at the back, but it's going to work out for the 720 machine. Look at what it says on that rear quarter panel, Racecraft. That's what's gotten the 720 machine so many good finishes, so much good position throughout the week. He just needed a little bit of luck. He got it. Sean Winkler went into this event ready, willing, and able to do whatever he needed to do, and he's 2 corners away from victory.
When you work with the best, you ultimately end up being one of the best. Winkler has had some of the best teachers, some of the best racers to race with him throughout the years, and now it's all going to come to a culmination, Keenan.
Sean Winkler has 1 corner left to go before he joins the elite group. He is now a Crandon champion, hand in the air, no move from Merrick. He opts to take the bronze as Dane Culver will round out your podium. And ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Sean Winkler, the Racecraft Academy driver, tops the podium when it matters. He is your Crandon champion here in the 9 p.m. race.
You saw how much that meant to Winkler. You saw him on his camera, just how much this means to Sean Winkler, all the hours he has put in. I said it earlier, he has been one of the most improved off-road drivers that I have ever seen, from the early days of off-road to the iRacing Off-Road Championship Series to now in the Crandon Championship. This has been earned. Sean Winkler earned this. He swept Wednesday night in the preliminary, and now this one means just a little bit more to sweep this.
Burn it down, Wink, man. You've earned it in spades. But going to be a popular win in the garage as Sean Winkler takes a dominant victory here in our evening split for our Crandon Championship. He joins Nicholas Dashalet as your champions. The old men get it done and teach the kids a thing or two on what it means to be a champion. Sean Winkler will be your winner as Dane Culver, not to take anything away from that driver. What an amazing recovery to get P2. And Scott Merrick, Mr. Where Did He Come From, taking 3rd place with Cody Vanderveer and Thad Countryman rounding out your top 5.
Back from there, it was so many battles in the mid-pack, and this is how it all settled out. Lindy, Schieber, McFarlane ending up P8, Zach Blanche, Danny Salo through the ends of the top 10. Back from there, Hadley Boyce finished under the green flag. Same thing with Minster, same thing with Bodewin, same thing with Michelson. Jack Peterson finished under the green flag, 2 laps down. Brody Descher, Tyler Shattuck disqualified, and Mark Grechko. Honestly, not sure what happened to him. I don't believe he finished under the green flag. He ended up 5 laps down, P18.
Unfortunate ends for a couple of those, but a fortunate win for Sean Winkler as he tops the timing table, and we are able to speak. Sean, you've had a smile on your face all week. How big is the grid now that you're to the top step of this podium?
Are you not entertained? Let's go. I couldn't be more happy. What a special event on iRacing, the Crandon Championship, and I put it on the top step. I can't believe it. This is sick.
Yeah, you look like
totally
you had your hand up at one point there. Where is everybody? Are you kind of expecting more of a fight? You had some bad luck this morning. What was the mindset going into tonight to be able to get away, get all those great starts too?
Yeah, so I was just like, well, I used all my bad luck this morning, and everyone's in bed anyway, so who's going to watch that race? I figured it's going to be nothing but good luck tonight. Here we are. So, yeah, I don't know. The mindset was, like I said the other day, I'm just going to do the best I can and hit all my marks and try to get good starts and just race and bring it home. And we did tonight for Racecraft Academy, and I'm super proud to drive for these guys, and it's awesome to bring this win home for them.
This being the crown jewel of dirt road racing across the service, you've got a win to your belt. You join Nicholas Dashalet as a 2025 Crandon champion. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means so much. Like, those guys are obviously legends on the service, and they're fast heck out here. So to just have my name even in proximity to those guys, it means a lot. I'm really thankful that I was able to race here and be clean and get it done. And it's awesome. I'm up there with them now. So here we are. I'm super pumped. This is great.
Well, Sean, we were talking a little bit earlier about there needing to be a master's class for us old folk to be able to get it done. Looks like you didn't need it. Congratulations, and celebrate hard, my friend. You've earned it.
Thanks. This was the Masters class. Thanks to Racecraft Academy, Next Level Racing, Real Broker, everybody watching this stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got to thank Josh and Teal, Cody Vanderveer. I wish he was on the podium with me. He did a hell of a job too tonight. It was awesome race with him and Austin and everybody else that I raced with. Thanks a lot. Racing with those guys makes me better. And thanks for putting on the broadcast. Can't wait to watch this one back. This is one for the record books. Thanks, guys.
Big grin on the face of the 7th driver, the 720. That's Sean Winkler, your winner, as Joshua Lee's caught up with Dane Culver.
Well, Dane, all week long, you've been fast. You have been up front. You won this split last year in the Super Sessions. Couldn't do it tonight. What more did you need out there?
Just throughout the night, it was actually a really good race. Actually, I appreciate everybody racing clean in that feature there. But the qualifying went actually a lot better than it did in the earlier session. I was a bit tired this morning, and I didn't really want to run at 8 a.m. But I tried my best and just got plugged and started in the back, and it was just a rough one from there. But I got a good qualifying tonight and ended up running up front in the heat race until I just got absolutely plowed straight into a wall. But had to start 17th because my car broke, and I was able to go from 17th to 2nd in the aim. Fast tonight, so congratulations to him. He was very fast, but yeah.
And in that feature race, we saw you through the mid-pack. You fought your way up towards the front. The performances that you've had all week long, how are you going to take these and take them forward in iRacing Off-Road? Is it going to be taking some time off before we see the iRacing Crandon Championship back? Is it going to be trying to get back into these leagues and working your way up towards the front?
Unless Wheatland comes out with a special event, I don't think I'll ever be racing this again.
Well, I appreciate the honesty, at least, Dane. Congratulations on all your results this week. You had a handful of wins and just a handful of solid finishes on you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dane Culver finishes P2 on the podium. Keenan, you're standing by with Scott Merrick, who ends up P3.
For somebody who said in Discord earlier this week, man, I don't know if I'm going to run tonight. I got things to do. To sit 3rd place, Scott, what's this mean to you?
It feels pretty good. I didn't have that good of a last year. So going into this year, I thought it was about to be the same, but I did not expect to have 2 podium finishes.
And that last lap, there was an opportunity to go for a second. You opted to just kind of hang out. It was nice to see you and Dane smiling. Talk us through those last couple laps as you guys were throwing sliders.
Honestly, when me and him, just got to 2nd and 3rd, where we're gonna try to be in a train, try to get up to Sean, but realized we couldn't get there. So we just decided to try to start battling, start having a little fun.
Man, we've been racing together for a while. It's been nice to see you kind of climb up this leaderboard and be able to have something to show for it. Crown Jewel event, you have a 3rd place finish under your belt. Congratulations, and hopefully we get to see you now take this momentum into your other endeavors.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I can bring this momentum if Pro Series comes back this year for a dirt oval.
And that was Scott Merrick, P3 in tonight's race. Josh, it's been a heck of a week of racing. It seems like we got a little bit of everything this week. We got close finishes. We had door-to-door battles. We had friendly rivalries. We had some not-so-friendly rivalries. And it all ends with Sean Winkler to the top of the podium.
Keenan, you and I know that iRacing Off-Road and the dirt road license class is probably, I'm going to argue and say, one of, if not the most exciting license class that you can watch on the iRacing service and that you can race on the iRacing service. This iRacing Crandon Championship really shows every year why that is true. We put on a ton of shows throughout this week. If it wasn't shows for the race lead, it was shows in the mid-pack and those mid-pack battles that we love to watch, especially them brewing here at Crandon. And throughout this week, it has just been excitement and entertainment throughout these races. I am proud to be a part of the iRacing Off-Road community, and everybody at home, I urge you, if you have iRacing, even if you don't, get into the dirt road license class. There is a lot of excitement on the horizon for off-road.
There's a lot of excitement on the horizon for the rest of our broadcast. Next up on the docket will be the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series from deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Steven Wilson has punched his ticket to the Championship 4 in Charlotte. Who will be joining him? We'll find out Tuesday, September 2nd, Josh.
Texas always provides a good show when it comes to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, and with the playoffs reaching their middle point of the round to try and earn their way into the Championship 4, there's going to be a lot to play for when they go racing at Texas.
Yeah, I will not be spoiled for content to watch, as again, we now have the Skip Barber Series that will be concluding their championship with a hot lap qualifier opening August 27th up to 31st, and then the broadcast will be September 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Josh, one of the closest finishes we've ever seen in racing the last week, and it's only going to get better from here as we have 3 drivers fighting for a title.
I was going to say, we talked about close finishes at Crandon this week, and Skip Barber iRacing Series just seems to always have close finishes as well. These cars race so well at the tracks on this schedule. I'm looking forward to the finale race on September 4th.
Yeah, we got a treat the other night, and we're going to get another treat here in about 2 weeks. Our next special event going to be the Indy 6 Hour, September 5th and 6th. This one's open, of course, to all iRacing members, GTPs, LMP2s, GT3s at one of the most hallowed grounds of racing in North America.
We go from dirt road to asphalt road and sprint races to endurance races in the Indy 6 Hour, but still that same amount of energy trying to win at Indianapolis, and looking forward to seeing the teams come back and the team racing come back with the Indy 6 Hour.
Again, get used to this style of racing as the IMSA Esports Series looms in the distance, coming back in November, and something brand new to our schedule of special events. This is something we're used to seeing as the eNASCAR College iRacing Series, but a brand new format, brand new tournament format as it begins with the Queen City Crown at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Loving this new bracket format and loving that we get to really bring out the spirit of each track with the race names. The Harvest Cup, Sunset Splash, Clash on the Beach. Every race name perfectly encapsulates where they're going in the schedule. And the Queen City Crown Time Attack starts next week on August 26th, leading up to September 4th. Racing for week 1 starts on September 17th. Week 2 starts on September 24th for the Queen City Crown at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And oh, by the way, Keenan, look at those brand new paints that we're going to be seeing this upcoming school year.
A lot of work going on behind the scenes. If you're familiar with a traditional college sports bracket, that's basically what you're going to get. We went from taking 40 drivers to 120, and we'll have 6 tournaments to find out who will be joining some elite company towards the top steps of the podium.
Super excited for the eNASCAR College iRacing Series to work its way back, Keenan, and we're signing off on an amazing week from Crandon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long road this week with too many memories to count. A lot of hard work has gone into the last 4 days and nights from a lot of really talented individuals. Thank you to Cisco Scaramuza, Drew Adamson, and Sean Ambrose, and Justin Melillo for the iRacing broadcast booth for putting on some of the best shows in sim racing. Thank you as well to Chris Leone for taking his mornings to be able to be the champion of this form of racing called Dirt Road. Thank you to both Taylor Burles, Sean, and Joshua Lee for helping call all the off-road action this week. A special thanks goes to all of our remote crew. That's Reese Gardner, Bo Albert, Joe Peak, Joey Atterbury, Zach Johnson, Ricky Harden, and Jake Kennedy for the tireless work behind the scenes. Of course, the community deserves a big thank you and a massive shout out. Thanks to Nick and Connor for letting me take over your Discord for the last few days to try to get everything as possible to be put on the best show that we can. Thank you to the drivers as well. 280 drivers plus, whether you're from top split or bottom. Thank you for making Crandon Championship the crown jewel event it has become. And finally, thank you for watching at home. These drivers laid it all on the line to put on a show for you, and they delivered. To say they delivered is an understatement. In the words of one of my favorite commentators in motorsport, we'll see you online, or we'll see you another time, maybe at the next Crandon Championship next week, or maybe the real Crandon Championship next week in Wisconsin. Thank you and good night from the big house for the final time. Until we meet again, take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend.